One of her coworkers asked her, what's your birthday? And she was like, you're not about to get me involved in that space racism. And listen, that's exactly what it is. People ask you that because they're trying to determine how much likability they're going to assume from you. They're not trying to actually get to know you. They're trying to prejudge you. They're trying to put a label on you immediately. When your birthday? I barely even know your name. I barely know how old you are, anything about you. I want to know your birthday. It's just very interesting to me that we utilize this system to judge each other. And the first thing that an unbeliever will say, or a lukewarm believer will say, is we shouldn't judge. But that's exactly what you're doing when you're using astrology to try to gauge if you're gonna like me or not, instead of actually examining the fruit of my character and who I actually am. You're trying to see if you can take a shortcut, and that is how you know it's from the enemy, because the enemy is the king of shortcuts. He doesn't want to do it the long way. He doesn't want to take the time. He wants to rush the process. He does not like the long game. He does not like to ease into things. He doesn't like to have fruits of the spirit, long suffering and patience. He wants it now. And in this microwave society, that's what the masses want too. So of course, zodiacs and astrology would be very appealing to them, because they don't have to wait to get to know people. They don't have to wait to see the content of a person's character, how they consistently, not just a couple times, not just once or twice, consistently show up. They want to skip to the good part. It's like so freeing to be able to meet people and just get to know them and not be so hyper focused on, oh, she kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I wonder what her sign is. Or, oh, she seemed cool. I wonder what her sign is. Like, I don't have to go through that. I can meet you and just get to know you. And I can see if you're compatible. I can see if you're my cup of tea and vice versa. Versus me trying to judge you before you have even said more than a stanza to me. Okay?
Level uploading. Level uploading. Up. Level uploading.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Level Uploading, 5 Feelings, Face Facts with yours truly, Shay.
Hey!
I am popping in real quick. I wanted to read a quick, I guess you could say, journal entry again. Listen, this is my journal that I can share from. This is not like my diary or anything that is personal and intimate. So I just want to be clear with that. I have stuff that I can share. So this is from that. I'm going to read it first, and I'm going to kind of touch on the points that I've made on it. This might ruffle a couple feathers. It might convict you. It might edify you. It might make you unsubscribe. I hope not. But if it does, I'm okay with it. I'm just sharing my thoughts and let you do what you will with it. So it says, people use Zodiac to draw quick and dumb conclusions with no evidence if the person is good or not. How many times in the past, when I was heavily influenced by it, have I met someone and decided, ooh, this is my person because this random chart said we were compatible? And on the flip side, how many people who have rubbed me the wrong way and I have immediately discarded them because some chart said we weren't compatible? How do I know God wasn't sending that person to rub me the wrong way into a season of discomfort and growth? Why would I want to only have people who I am compatible with around me? Why would I only want to have people I am compatible with around me? How would I be a fisher of men? How would I ever be held accountable or see different viewpoints and perspectives if everyone I invite in was on the exact same wavelength as me at all times? Also, how do I assume that a person that shares a similar birthday as me just automatically is a good and safe person? How many parents have met their child's potential spouse and then prematurely liked them because they were the same sign. Not doing the real due diligence to get to know the person, it creates a counterfeit intimacy and closeness. Just like on the flip side, it creates an automatic close-off dismissal or rejection for those who don't make the chart cut. The same way people use Zodiac to create superficial and artificial assumptions of safety or even danger is the same way Christians use the title to assume safety with fellow believers, negating open doors, disorders, traumas, etc. that the enemy can use to act through these people. Even Peter was compromised when Jesus had to tell Satan to get behind him. He was speaking to the enemy who was speaking through Peter to create doubt and fear in the Lord, who knew he had to see the plan through and not be deterred or try to avoid it. Hi, beautiful people. I just wanted to pop in real quick and say if you have not subscribed, please do so now. Leave a comment. Talk to me. I want to hear from you. Back to the episode. Now, that was a mouthful. That was definitely a mouthful. I was on my commute one of these days before I fleshed this out. I was not typing this on the road, guys, please. A lot of times I make notes, and if I get, any thoughts, I flesh them out later once I'm somewhere. My drive is a lot of creative juices flow during that period of time. I was just thinking about my past and how many people I have immediately met, and before I had gotten to know anything about them, before I had vetted them, before I had known their name or anything, it was like, when your birthday? I barely even know your name. I barely know how old you are, anything about you. I want to know your birthday. And don't even talk about when I got deeper into like the charts and the birth times and all that. The enemy is so deceitful, and he is so cunning in the way that he just slowly pulls the string further and further, and the next thing you know, you're down a rabbit hole. But anyway, I used to, like I said, it could be times where I would meet someone and it'd be like, when your birthday? Oh, you were such and such? Oh, we gonna be cool. And I'm instantly forgetting about trying to see this person's mindset, forgetting about trying to see how this person's integrity, how their loyalty is, how they handle themselves. Do they have scruples? Do they have integrity? Do they have loyalty? Do they have any of the things that I would want for a person that I would willingly invite into my life as a friend, an associate, even a coworker? Like, if you're going to be close knit to me, there are some things that I need to actually know and observe and know by the fruit of who you are, versus, oh, you were born 2 days before my aunt and I like my aunt. We're going to be okay. Oh, you were born 3 days before me. Oh, we the same sign. Oh, we going to be cool. Listen, let me tell you, that is the enemy and that is deceit. That is the easiest way to get counterfeits and frauds, fraudulentes, okay, in your midst. It's the easiest way, by continuing to allow what in my original beginning stages of astrology and zodiacs and horoscopes was like, oh, this is just a fun little thing to know. But it just gets deeper slowly as you get into it and you begin to judge and prejudge people. There was a post on Facebook, and the lady said that one of her coworkers asked her, what's your birthday? And she was like, you're not about to get me involved in that space racism. And listen, that's exactly what it is. People ask you that because they're trying to determine how much likability they're going to assume from you. They're not trying to actually get to know you. They're trying to prejudge you. They're trying to put a label on you immediately. They're trying to have confirmation bias of, oh, this is what I read about you and you did one thing and now that's just your whole personality. And like, unfortunately, it works on the opposite way. Like, we get close to people, but we also push people away. I can't tell you how many times I've met people who I didn't necessarily prefer. I wouldn't say I disliked them or that they did anything wrong to me, but they weren't my immediate cup of tea. And if I had been so deep into astrology like I had previously been, I would have missed out on something that grew into a depth versus this premature love bomb. Oh, we are fire signs. Oh, we're this. Oh, we're earth signs. Oh, we compatible. We get along. And it always kills me how everyone says, I don't see how y'all believe in those fairy tales referring to the Bible. But these people, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. They don't mind reading these horoscopes who they don't know who's writing them. They don't mind reading these analysis of the astrology. They don't know who's writing them. They don't mind these tarot cards. They don't mind who's writing them or interpreting them or whatever, reading them. It's just very interesting to me that we utilize this system to judge each other. And the first thing that an unbeliever will say, or a lukewarm believer will say, is we shouldn't judge. But that's exactly what you're doing when you're using astrology to try to gauge if you're going to like me or not, instead of actually examining the fruit of my character and who I actually am. You're trying to see if you can take a shortcut. And that is how you know it's from the enemy, because the enemy is the king of shortcuts. He doesn't want to do it the long way. He doesn't want to take the time. He wants to rush the process. He does not like the long game. He does not like to ease into things. He doesn't like to have fruits of the spirit, long suffering and patience. He wants it now. And in this microwave society, that's what the masses want too. So of course, zodiacs and astrology would be very appealing to them, because they don't have to wait to get to know people. They don't have to wait to see the content of a person's character, how they consistently, not just a couple times, not just once or twice, consistently show up, how they consistently show integrity, and how they consistently behave. They want to skip to the good part. They want to skip to the good part. And that's just unfortunately the world we live in. So let me hit a couple points and then I'm out, because this wasn't supposed to be long. One of the examples that I utilized in this was about a parent. So a parent who is so heavily into zodiacs, imagine them meeting their child's fiance or potential, let's just call it boyfriend or girlfriend. Hi, Mom, this is David, and I want you to meet him. And Mom says, oh, hey, how you doing, David? Oh, you looking nice. Okay. When your birthday? And David's birthday is 4 days before her husband's birthday, your dad's birthday, her dad's birthday, whatever. Oh, okay. I'm gonna like you. I get along with y'all. Oh, you gonna like my husband, gonna love you. You don't know this man. And then you build this premature closeness. You haven't asked this man about his intentions with your daughter. You haven't asked this man about his intentions with your with your family. Like, are you trying to be a part of this family? Are you actually serious about my daughter? I'm using daughter in this instance because I'm a woman, but the same happens on the flip side for daughters and sons and girlfriends and boyfriends or whatever. But they've skipped past all of that. They use your birthday to prejudge you. And a lot of times they prejudge people incorrectly. And a lot of times they prejudge people, giving them way too much of the benefit of the doubt. The consistency isn't there. The alignment isn't there. The integrity isn't there. The scruples isn't there. The morality and the values aren't there. But because my birthday is July 7th, I'm a good person. Automatically. You automatically bonded with me and we're just alike. And like I said, on the flip side, this man, so good to his woman, been holding her down, been consistent, has been holding her in high regard, has not been leading her into sin, has been getting himself and his life and his affairs in order. He comes to meet your mom and she said, oh, when is your birthday? Oh, October what? October 12th. Oh, now see, I know about y'all. Now this person who has demonstrated 1,000 different ways of longevity and loyalty and good character is being automatically placed into this distrust from some book, some horoscope, some past experience, some past person, some stigma. Every good thing that they've done has been pushed to the back, and they have been met with skepticism and distrust and mistrust just off of their birthday. So now Mama Dear is side-eyeing this man for the whole rest of the evening. Not even paying attention to the fact, oh wow, he's actually attentive. He's actually paying attention, and he listens when she speaks, and he opens the doors for her, and he's making sure she's good. And now don't get me wrong, people can be performative no matter if you get their birthday or not, okay? But my point is, how many times have we just allowed that prejudice to come through and be the main event? It's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Another point that I mentioned was, why would I want to have people who only thought like me around me? Now, listen, I'm not just talking about close friendships and intimate close-knitness. I'm talking about in general. How can I be a fisher of men? How can I go out and, disciple and show the love of Christ if I only want people around me who are already on that page? If I only want people who are already in the church, if I only want people who are already Christians and believers, and that's the only people who can talk to me or be around me or who I'm compatible with, how can I be that if I'm automatically I want compatibility? We gotta go. It has to feel comfortable. We have to be on the same page. That doesn't make sense. And even take away the religious part of it. That is not how you grow. That is not how you learn. If you don't have any different perspectives in your life, you're not going to see and appreciate and grow and learn how to navigate the world. Just because you hear a different perspective doesn't mean you have to take it on, but it doesn't hurt to be able to see someone else's viewpoints and their perspectives in this life. Another point that I made, and it will hopefully be my last one, it was about Peter. When Jesus had to tell Peter, Satan, get thee behind me. Let's see, Matthew 16:21 says, from then on, Jesus began to tell his disciples plainly that it was necessary for him to go to Jerusalem, and that he would suffer many terrible things at the hands of the elders, the leading priests, and the teachers of religious law. He would be killed, but on the third day he would get raised from the dead. But Peter took him aside and began to reprimand him for saying such things. Heaven forbid, Lord, he said, this will never happen to you. Jesus turned to Peter and said, get away from me, Satan. You are a dangerous trap to me. You are seeing things merely from a human point of view, not from man's. Then Jesus said to his disciples, if any of you wants to be a follower, you must give up your own way, take up your cross, and follow me. If you try to hang on to your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is anything worth more than your soul? For the Son of Man will come with his angels in the glory of his Father, and will judge all people according to their deeds. So my last point that I'm going to hurry up and save so I can go take my butt to sleep. People have traumas. People have open doors. People can be utilized by the enemy. Even in that scripture, Peter was he was not talking, he was speaking as Peter, but that wasn't him. That was the seed of the enemy trying to plant a seed of doubt in the Lord, who was already low-key a little bit shaky. He knew what he had to do, but he still was like, they gonna beat me, so it's like, I already am feeling anxiety about doing this. It's already asking for this cup to be taken from me if it can be. The last thing I need is for you to be trying to say, no, I'm telling you what it is. Take my word as what I said it is. And we have to remember that Christians, just because you're a believer does not automatically mean you're saved. Just like if you're a Leo, doesn't mean you're automatically saved. Just like if you're a Cancer or whatever, these things that people love to categorize themselves with. And what we fail to realize is, if you really pay attention to the characteristics that are attached to all of those different signs, zodiac signs, They sprinkle a little bit of good and a lot of bad. And a lot of the things that they attach themselves, when you agree with those things, are against the fruits of the Spirit. They're against the manner and the mannerisms that should be of someone who is trying to be more like Christ. Like they say, just off the top of my head, they say Aries, they're rage and war. Like, huh? Rage and war? This is about the Prince of Peace. You know what I mean? Like, hold on. Or they say Leo. They say Leos are proud. They're lions and they're proud and prideful. But God resists the proud, right? It say God resists the proud. I know. Let me look at the verse. Hold on. Maybe I should do an analyzation of all of the characteristics of the zodiacs and how they differ from the spirits, the fruits of the Spirit, and the characteristics that the Lord has access to display. James 4:6. God resists the proud but gives grace to the humble. Like, this stuff that you said, I'm a Leo. But if you're saying that you're Leo and the spirit of pride is attached to this Leo, then, and if you're that, and that's what you're claiming, and you're proud because you're a Leo, this is attached to it, this goes with it, and God resists the proud, are you trying to be on the oppie side of God? Are you trying to be oppie to the Lord? If you say you're a Sagittarius and you're a drunkard, what does the Lord say about gluttony? Or you're a Scorpio and you're a pervy, you're very sexual and sexual immorality and lusty. What does God say about lust? You get what I'm saying? Like, I can go, I'm probably going to do a deep dive of that, but I just want to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about. So I pray that this episode just really helped you to see that the space prejudice is really keeping us from people. It's people who we are supposed to meet, that were supposed to be there to help us grow, and we discarded them for their birthday, something they couldn't control. And instead of paying attention to something that they could control, like how they acted, treated us, showed up for us, we tossed them aside for something that they had no say-so in. Something that the Lord never caused you to use as a yardstick for if a person was a good person or not. Something the Lord never asked you to use as a compatibility test. Something that you got from the world, something that you got from this world of confusion, of deception, of destiny destroying. You probably met your husband, but he was a Libra and you was a Virgo. I'm just saying random stuff. I try to ask the Lord to continue to remove and delete that stuff from me, because I spent so much time focused on it and knowing it. And it's like, I have to continually ask the Lord if that ever pops up. It's like, nope. It's like so freeing to be able to meet people and just get to know them and not be so hyper focused on, oh, she kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I wonder what her sign is. Or, oh, she seemed cool. I wonder what her sign is. Like, I don't have to go through that. I can meet you and just get to know you. And I can see if you're compatible. I can see if you're my cup of tea and vice versa. Versus me trying to judge you before you have even said more than a stanza to me. Okay? But yeah, guys, I pray that this episode it helps somebody, because I know there's a lot of people who have taken a lot of credence into the zodiac and astrology stuff, and the Lord made the stars and all of these things that they used to justify this. And sure enough, he did. Just like he made trees, and just like he made gold, and just like he made a lot of stuff. But if you take that tree and you make it an idol, if you take that gold and make it into a statue, just because the Lord made gold doesn't mean that he's okay with you having an idol, a statue that you worship, and an altar that you put things on, Just like that golden calf, God made every material that they used to make it, and he still was highly displeased with them. So I hope that just hits the nerve, and I hope that this video gets to who it's for. And on that note, I will see you guys on my next episode. Bye.